One of the biggest problems which rocks our parliament nowadays is about the unemployment and the rising unemployment in our country. And if we talk about unemployment, then there is a section within the term unemployment which is very concerning in a big country and a big population like India. And that is about the educated Indians being unemployed. Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be discussing about are graduates facing unemployment, that what is the situation of the educated Indians. It is being said that the graduates of the country are the majority of the section which is unemployed. The graduates and the educated Indians are not able to find jobs for themselves. So let's see. First of all, about the timeline. First, we'll be looking at the news, then about education and unemployment scenario, unemployment rates with graduate degree scenario, unemployment rate for young workers scenario, share of educated workers and unemployment. And in the end, means practice question. Topic is of relevance from GS paper 3, that is economy section is unemployment. What you need to remember specifically from the mains perspective, because this can be asked and a lot of questions has been asked on the topic of unemployment, and that is the relationships between different sectors. So the news talks about are graduates facing unemployment. Graduates means that the people who has their bachelor's degree and have passed their bachelor's degree. So is graduates of this country, is the educated Indians able to find job? Are the educated Indians employed? Are they skilled? So let's see. So what is happening is, in the year 1932, engineer and statesman M Visvesvaraya pointed to the high prevalence of unemployment amongst the educated. So in the year 1932 only, the statesman talked about the unemployment amongst the educated. It means that the educated people, the people who have the sufficient education but still they are not able to find job, or the people who are educated but they are not employed. So the actions of those involved in the parliament breach have brought the question of youth unemployment. So recently the parliament breach incident took place, that two of the young people or the youth of the country was sitting in the public gallery and they jumped to the area where the session of the parliament was going on, and this incident has again brought to the forefront the topic of educated Indians being unemployed. And if we talk about the periodic labor force survey, it talks about unemployment rate which was high of 6.1% in the year 2017-18 has reduced to 3.2% in 2022-23. So the periodic labor force survey talks about that nowadays and in present scenario the unemployment rate is coming down. In the year 2017 it was 6.1%, while in the year 2022-23 it has come down to 3.2%. It means the situation is improving. Highest rate of unemployment is among the young highly educated workers. Now this is the point which is concerning, that if we talk about the unemployed people in our country, the people who are not able to find employment or job, they are not the people who are not educated. They are majorly or the majority of the section of those people who are unemployed or who are not employed or who does not have the job. They are the people who are the educated class. They are the people who are graduates. They are the people who have passed their standard 12th. So it means that the educated people, the people who have sufficient and the required knowledge and the education, are the people who are not able to find jobs for themselves. Now, what are the reasons for this? We will be looking into that also. And the biggest problem that we come across is the structural feature of the Indian economy. This talks about the structural feature. Few of the reasons we will be going into detail, and then we will also be seeing the relationships between different factors also. So let's begin. First of all, about the education and unemployment. Now two very opposite words, unemployment and education. And basically, if we talk about in our day-to-day life and day-to-day scenario, then we usually hear that get education so that you are able to earn for yourself, so that you can become independent, so that you will be able to handle responsibilities, you will be able to do well for yourself. But here the situation is different. The people who are educated, the people who are getting the required education, are the people who are not able to find the relevant jobs for themselves. So unemployment rates for the aggregate labor force of individuals aged 18 to 65. So the graph that we will be looking is that will show the relation between education and unemployment, but for the age group of 18 to 65. And it always has been low since the early 1990s, jumping to a historical high of 5.77% in the year 2017-18. And if we talk about the present scenario, that is about 2022-23, it has come down from 5.77 to 3.15. It means the situation is getting better now. So look at this graph. It talks about unemployment and education. So this is the years which is given starting from 1990s to 2022-23, and this is the in the percentage terms. So if we talk about the unemployment ratio, then in the year 1990s, if we will see, then it is about less than 2%. And then if we talk about the year 2017-18, it has gone to a high suddenly, and this high is of less than 6%, you can say 5.7%. If you will see that it is increasing, then it remained on the same level, then it came down, and then suddenly it took a spike, and then now again it has come down to the level of 3%. So if we will see that the unemployment rate earlier was in the range of 2 to 2.5, then suddenly it spiked during the time of 2017-18, and this was also the time where in the year 2019 the COVID pandemic came, and because of which the physical activities got shut down. So it had a lot to do on people being unemployed and people losing their jobs. But now it has come down from 5.7 to 3%. Now about unemployment rates with graduate degrees. So the people who have the graduate degrees, so what is the unemployment rate among them? So individuals with higher education have always faced higher unemployment. Now this is again a very contradictory statement. Higher education, in our day-to-day life and usual life, we relate with higher education with better living. But here, people who are having higher education are facing higher unemployment. 9% in the 1990s, then the rate came down to 7.66% in the year 2011-12, and then again it rose to 17% in the year 2017-18, and then coming down to 13% in 2022-23. But the concerning point is that these are the people who are educated, who have a graduate degree for themselves. It means that the people who are educated, among them the unemployment rate as of now is around 13%, which is much more than the national average unemployment rate. So look at this graph. This talks about years and this talks about the percentage of unemployment. So if we start with 1990s, it is less than 10%. You can say it was in the range of 8 to 9%. Then it was till the time 2004-5 almost on the same ground. Then it came down in 2011 and 12 to the percentage of 7%, but then again it rose to a higher percentage of around 17% in the year 2017-18, but now again it has come down to around 13%, but still it is more than national average. Now let's talk about unemployment rate for young workers. When we say young workers, it means the young population of India. So what is the unemployment rate within the young population of India? Young population, when we talk about the population who is seeking work, who is in the age group to work, and they are the peoples who have been graduates or postgraduates and are looking for jobs in the field. Then these are workers aged 18 to 29 with a graduate degree. Then if we talk about the year from 1993 to 94 to 2004 and 5, almost a fifth of a quarter of all young individuals with graduate degree faced long unemployment spells of 6 months or more. So it was saying that the people with the graduate degree, the people in the young population, they have been facing a huge spell of unemployment. It has been more than 6 months or more, and this was specifically during the time from 1993 to 2005. Then the rate dropped to 20% in the year 2011-12 before rising to a staggering 36% in 2017-18. So in the year 2017-18, it peaked. The unemployment rate peaked. Then the rate has been reduced by 2022-23 with 27% of young graduates facing long spells of unemployment. And when we talk about long spells of unemployment, it means 6 months or more. Now look at this chart. This line shows the years, and this talks about the percentage of unemployment. Now starting with 1990s, it is around 22-23%. Then it was almost on the same line. Then it came down in the year 2011 and 12. But then during the time of 2017, it has again spiked to 37%, which was a historic high. Now imagine that the young workers aged group between 18 to 29, out of 100%, 36% of the young population of the country is unemployed. Now what staggering numbers it is, how much questions the number raises, and what we need to look from the perspective of the economy, that why the young population, why the youth of the country is unemployed. And this youth has a graduate degree. It means the youth is educated, the youth has skills, the youth has education. Then again in the year 2022-23, it has come down to the point of around 27%. Now moving on, then we have the share of educated workers. So educated workers means that the people who has the required education. Now in the year 1993-94, only 5% of the labor force were graduates. Now this is a point that we need to look into, that when we talk and when we compare the graph with the earlier times, we need to also be very careful about the fact that during earlier times, the educated people were less. The education level, the literacy level, and the literacy percentage was very less as compared to today's times. So in earlier times, the number of graduates were less, while in today's time the number of graduates is very high. So the point of comparison also is different. So during the time of 1993-94, only 5% of the labor force were graduates. Imagine that during the time of 1993-94, out of 100%, only 5% of the population is graduate. It means only 5% of the population was studying and was able to pass after standard 12th. Then the expansion of higher education, the share of graduates in the labor force has risen to around 15% by the year 2022-23. So compared to 5%, now the graduates number is around 15%. Now this has become more than double. This is around 3 times. So the overall unemployment rates remain low even though graduates face high unemployment. So even though the graduates are unemployed, the unemployment rates remain low, while the share of educated workers in the labor force is also low. So we also need to say that the comparison which we make if during earlier times with now, is not actually on the same level, because earlier times the number of graduates were very less, while in today's time the number of graduates are more. Now look at the graph. Years, percentage of unemployment. Now let's see, during the time of 1990s it was around 5%. It has increased since then, and it has come to the level of 15% during 2017 to 2018. It means that the educated workers unemployment rate increased during the time of 2017-18, or should I say it peaked during the time of 2017-18, and then it again rose, and now it has reached around 17%. Now let's see what are the reasons for unemployment, that why the educated Indians are unemployed. First of all, the biggest problem is the structural problem of our economy. The structural problem basically is that the biggest employer in our country is agriculture. Around 40% of our country's population is employed in agriculture, but it is not high paying. While on the other hand, if we talk about the manufacturing sector or the industries, you can say industries, and then the services sector, the employment rate you can around, including both, you can say is around 50 to 55%, and they are giving employment equivalent to what employment agriculture is giving, but they are high paying jobs, and services sector is the highest of all. Now this becomes a problem, and one of the biggest problem can be of disguised unemployment also in agriculture. A major number of people are employed there, but the wages that they are able to take out from it are not very high. So this is a problem that our country is facing. So we need to produce more jobs, and specifically in the sectors which are more skilled, they can, like you can say that, which are more skilled and which is more specialized in nature. Then the supply demand mismatch, this is also one of the biggest reasons, that what the graduates are able to give to the market and what the market expects from them does not match. Many a times the market is demanding something else while the graduates are possessing something else. Then the lack of quality jobs. Now this becomes a problem, that the people who has the people who are graduates, the people who are postgraduates, it means that they are specialized in something, they have done their specialization. Now they will not be looking for a job which is paying minimal or which is not very skillful. So that is why when quality jobs are not there, so graduates do not opt for jobs, and many a times, and this is one of the reasons why they move out of the country also. Lack of high paying jobs. Now the people who are graduates and the postgraduates and have done their specialization, they want a high paying job, they want a skilled job, they want a quality job, and they want a better standard of living and a better space to work. This is also they're not able to find. Then upskilling. Now this is a problem which goes on, that firstly we also need to look into the perspective that upskilling of the laborers or the employees are being done or not, because with time technology gets changed and high paying jobs demand upskilling of the workers. So this is also a problem that we as a country also need to look into. Now in the end, a mains practice question, and so you people need to do your answer writing practice, and this is for 10 marks. Why is educated unemployment a peculiar problem of India? Write about unemployment, write about educated unemployment, write about few of the statistics, write about the periodic labor force survey, and then why is it a problem and ways through which you can solve, you think you can solve that problem also. So try to do your answer writing practice, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.